Welcome to week 3 of Battleathon. I cannot believe that we are in the third week of this. It is absolutely insane. August is flying by, but this is the week that I am so excited about. I'm going to be reading sequels this week. If you have no clue what Battleathon is, you just stumbled upon this video. It is never too late to join, but it is a competitive-based readathon where 4 houses are going head-to-head to become the king's assassins. Your points are coming from your star rating, and this is one of the most important weeks because you're going head to head against another team to decide who's going to end up in the winner's bracket. So I have a humongous stack of sequels here. This is not all of them. I don't own all of the sequels that I potentially could get to this week, so there's a lot of books. How many am I going to get to? The world may never know. But I am going to be reading as many sequels as I can. I could not decide what to start with, so I did ask my patrons to vote on a few of these because I don't like making decisions. They chose by a very slim margin. I'm talking a very slim margin for me to start Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. This is the last book in the Shepherd King duology, which started with One Dark Window. I liked One Dark Window. I gave it a 4-star, but I just didn't completely get sucked in the way that I wanted to. But the ending was very intriguing and made me curious how this one's gonna go. Apparently this second book follows a different set of characters, and I'm like, wait a minute, how's that gonna work? But I'm curious about it and to see if I like it better, worse. I've heard mixed things. One Dark Window is set in a world where there is like an illness, a plague, and it affects primarily children. If they get infected, they typically die. If they don't die and they manage to escape the physicians, then they end up with some kind of magic, and it's usually not a great kind. And our main character is able to hear these cards, and they're not really playing cards, but they kind of seem like playing cards that are responsible for all of the magic in the land. And it was a really intriguing magic system. It had the voice in the head trope, which is one of my favorite tropes of all time. So I am curious to see how this one's gonna go. Very excited to pick it up. It is a 14-hour audiobook, and so I'm hoping I can get through it relatively quickly. Today is Sunday. It's early-ish in the day. It's like, I don't know, it's before noon. I'm not exactly sure what time it is, but it's before noon. So is there a possibility I could knock this out today? Maybe, possibly. We're gonna try. So I am currently on reading sprints, and I've gotten to 50 pages of Two Twisted Crowns. There will not be any spoilers in this vlog, so you guys don't have to worry about that, but I am having a great time with this book. I don't know if One Dark Window was just right book, wrong moment or what, because I still really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4-star, but there were definitely moments that lulled a little bit for me. I'm having a fantastic time with this book so far. It starts off exactly where One Dark Window left off, so it did take me a minute to kind of reset my bearings and be like, okay, where are we at? What's going on? We've gotten points of view from all of our characters that we had in book 1, as well as a couple of new characters. I do know that this focuses more on a different couple than book 1 did, which I was very leery of, but so far I'm not minding the way it's being done because we're getting enough from the other points of view that it's not bothering me at the moment. But I'm having a great time. This drops you right back into the amazing atmosphere that book 1 had. It's just, it makes me feel like I am reading this in a castle with the rain outside on a fall day. Like, the atmosphere in this is incredible, and I'm having the best time so far. There's been some good banter in here. There's definitely some intrigue about what was happening at the end of book 1, and yeah, I'm having a great time. So I'm excited to continue reading this. I did decide to read it physically while I'm at home before flipping into the audiobook on my way to work tomorrow. And honestly, I'm wondering if that was part of my problem for book 1, is if I really needed to read it physically to appreciate the banter and the atmosphere. So I'm going to try to get as much of this read physically as I can, because I don't know, I have a feeling that maybe the audiobook is not the way to go for this series, although I do definitely still have the audiobook on standby if I were to need it. I am halfway into Two Twisted Crowns. I have flown through this book today and I'm still having the best of times. This book is just atmosphere made over, and there's some really, really good lines, some really good discussions in here. Ione is a character that I am loving, and some of the things that she has said and some of the conversations that she's trying to have, I'm having the best time. There's great banter and it's just so much fun. The middle has lulled a little bit for me, but I'm still really interested. I just feel like the plot and kind of the banter and some of that has slowed down a little bit. This is definitely following a different couple than the first book, but not in the way that I was expecting. When I finished book one, I was like, wait, how in the world is this gonna just completely flip points of views to an entirely new couple? Because in my mind, when that happens for most romantasy books, they're more of a companion book. They're not a direct sequel, but the way that the first one ended, it needed to be a direct sequel. But that's not really what happened. I don't know, I guess from what I had heard, that's what I assumed. But this book is definitely a direct sequel to the first book. We still have Raven's point of view. We still have some of Elspeth, what happened after the events of One Dark Window, but we're adding Elm and Ione. I think that's how you say her name. And I really do like their points of view. I like what's going on in the castle and some of the politics. I love their banter. I actually want more of them. But then I'm also loving seeing things from Raven and Elspeth's kind of side of things and how the magic and all of that is coming into play. So I think if they are balancing each other really, really well at this point, I'm having the best time. So I'm going to probably read some more of this tonight. I've already read 200 pages, but I think I can read a few more. If I get a lot more done, I will let you know. But I'm just having the best time. So we will have to do a better update in the morning, but it is late and I have finished Two Twisted Crowns and I think this is going to be a 5-star. I will talk to you guys more about it tomorrow in the light of day. We'll do a spin. We'll see who's going to get the points, but I had so much fun with this book and I was not ready for it. I figured it would be a 4-star at best, but this was so good, you guys. Okay, so this vlog feels a little bit chaotic. I didn't really tell you guys what I rated Two Twisted Crowns. I didn't really tell you much about it. I was just in full gush mode and forgot to give you any actual thoughts. So we're gonna do that now. I loved Two Twisted Crowns. I thought it was so good. The atmosphere was perfect. The blend between some of the more politics and the magic and the 2 points of views that gave us that, I thought was incredible. We got a new point of view Elm in this one, and he's the king's son from book one, the second son, the spare son, and he is enamored by Ione, which is how you say her name, not Ione, Ione, and she is the betrothed to his brother, and she has a card, and the card kind of alters her some, and he's going to help her through some of this, and they get closer, and there's a lot more to it than that because she is related to Elspeth and all of the things that happened at the end of book one. I'm trying to be very vague because I don't want to give anybody any spoilers, but I loved their relationship. I actually found myself wanting more of their points of view and less of Raven and Elspeth, which shocked me. I did not think that would be the case, but they had great banter, and I think some of the conversations that were had in those points of view were really, really good. This book was amazing. 10 out of 10. Had the best time. So we do need to do a spin and see who's going to get the points for this book. I think that the only bonus points are going to come to maybe House of Snakes. We'll see how I feel if it lands on them for the word twisted, but definitely for House of Wings for the word crown. So let me turn you guys around so that you can see the spinner wheel a little bit better, and let us do our spin for Two Twisted Crowns. Team Wings is going to be getting the points for this one. So they are going to be getting a 510 points because crowns is a royal word. So I'm going to go and submit that. So I think I'm caught up on all of my other updates. I have been a little bit all over the place. I think when I got sick, I forgot how to vlog. So I apologize for that. But what I have not updated you on is I finished The Last of Us season 1 last night, and I'm not okay. I don't know why that show was recommended to me. It is so freaking sad. Like, it's so sad, but so good, but so sad. I don't think that there was like a single happy episode. There's definitely some like happy-ish moments, but like that whole show rips your heart out, and then gives it back to you and gives you hope, and then rips it out again. The third episode I knew was going to be bad, but like it was really bad. It was so sad, but also kind of romantic, but really sad. And it was like, I don't know, not in the sad context that I expected it to be. You're watching a zombie show. You expect there to be levels of sad and people dying, but that was a different kind of sad. So yeah, I'm late to the hype train on The Last of Us. Really, really, really enjoyed it. I liked The Last of Us better, I think, than The Walking Dead, but for different reasons. The Walking Dead is not a happy show, but I just feel like it's not quite as quintessentially depressing as The Last of Us is, but also like the production values for The Last of Us was incredible. The acting is phenomenal. They just feel very different, but if you like a zombie show, then I think that you could really enjoy that. I've not played the game, so I cannot say how it compares to the game, but the acting, 10 out of 10. Like, everybody, amazing acting. Loved it. Perfectly cast. So now that I'm going to wallow in my feels, I think I'm going to watch The Bachelorette tonight. And we're going to do a 1 to 180 kind of situation. And in the middle of all of that, maybe I'll find some time to read. Hopefully you guys can hear me, because every single time I go to film this vlog clip, the wind picks up, somebody goes to saw something, there's a train going off. Like, I feel like this vlog clip is literally cursed. But I wanted to tell you that I have started Runes of Sea and Souls, I hate that title, by Lizette Marshall, and this is the third book in the Court of Blood and Binding series. I gave the first book 5 stars, but I gave the second book 3 stars. I have a special edition literally sitting in my inbox waiting for me to decide whether or not that I want them, and so I thought that I really needed to read book 3 before that deadline to decide if this is something that I want to get. This is a series following our main character who lives in a small village, has been told that any magic that she has, she doesn't need to show anybody. It's like a gift passed down, and she shouldn't share anything about it. And one day the Silent Death, who is the mother of the Fae's right-hand man, comes to sweep away her village and takes her captive. And essentially the mother of the Fae has bound all of the Fae to where they can't use their magic against her, and she is considered very evil. She makes all of the humans tithe, and it's just kind of a bad situation overall. This book does have color magic in it, which I find really interesting, where you're able to draw color out of one thing to do something else. So like you can pull blue out of a blue top and it can heal. Yellow is for change, red is for destruction. I think all of that is really cool. The second book in the series, though, I feel like lost a lot of the charm between our two main characters. I love their banter in book 1, but I just didn't like the way that things kind of fell off in book 2. They were separated a lot. And in book 3, I'm still finding their romance to be just not it for me, and I don't really know why that is. I don't know if they're just too like lovey-dovey or what, but I don't know, the miscommunication tropes are getting a little bit old. I find a lot of the conflicts between the like party that they're a part of is very childish. I'm not really liking that, and I'm just struggling with that overall. Claire said that the second half of the book does pick up in the magic in the world a lot, but I'm not really sure that I care enough about the plot to make up for the fact that I'm not loving the character interactions. So we'll see, but right now it is feeling like a 3-star, which is big sad. So we're gonna see if my camera battery will last long enough for me to do this update. I have finished Runes of Seas and Souls, and I have mixed feelings. I think I'm gonna give it a 3.5, but I have not decided whether I'm gonna round it up or round it down, so hopefully I'll talk myself into a rating while we're talking. But this one, the first half almost felt like a 2.5 star for me. I was not really loving it. I felt like the characterization was just not very good. Their motivations weren't really making sense to me. The conflicts that we were having felt very childish and just almost like teenagers squabbling, and I just was not loving that. I really wasn't liking the characterization of kind of the band that was together. I liked some of the banter we were having, but I really was struggling with the characterization of some of the other like side characters and their motivations. As we got into the second half of the book, I started to like the magic system and everything a little bit better. I still stand by the fact that the magic is really, really unique and interesting, and I think that is the major selling point of this story.
story. So in the second half, we got to expand on that a lot, learn a lot more about how it works and how they're going to defeat the big bad with the magic. So I liked all of that, but I still feel like the characters just don't work for me, which is really sad because I loved book 1. But in book 1, we definitely had just the main couple, but the characters, the side characters that are in books 2 and 3 are not in book 1 as much. And so I'm wondering if that had a pretty big impact on me. Their motivations just don't make sense. And then the things that they're upset about, despite being shown over and over and over again, it's like, no. And I'm just like, I can't with how just ridiculous it is and how little character development we're getting. I think that's the biggest thing. Even if some of the like conversations and some of the things that they were mad about feel ridiculous to me, if we're growing, we're learning, we're developing, I can get past that a lot of times, but there just feels like there's zero character development in here, even with our main couple. And so I'm struggling a lot. A lot of their conflicts just don't work. I feel like a broken record. And I feel like the more that I talk about it, I want to round it down. But I did like the second half significantly better. So that's why I think it's a 3.5. And I just can't decide for the purposes of this readathon, do I round it up or do I round it down? I think I'm going to round it down. But don't hold me to that on Goodreads because I haven't fully decided yet. I haven't fully decided on the special editions either. I think I'm leaning against getting them because even though I loved book 1 and I definitely preferred the third book to the second book, they're heading back up in trajectory. I just don't know that I can justify spending that much on a series that could end up being a 3-star series. We will do a spin when I get home from work to see who is going to be getting the 300 points. C's we could probably count for House of Thorns though. So if I land on House of Thorns, they might get 310 points. Otherwise, 300 points. I will put up the spin here for when I do it when I get home, and then I will be submitting this book. So we need to choose our next book.
Okay. My camera is placed very precariously, so fingers crossed that we don't have any animals come and decide to jump up on the chair because I left my tripod in the car and I'm way too lazy to go get it. I did want to update you guys though because my patrons voted for me to start Leather and Lark. They got an emoji poll, and for this one, I thought I was really clever. I did a cow and a bird, Leather and Lark. Get it? I thought I was so clever. Most of them said they didn't get it, but like, I still think I was really clever. Anyway, I'm actually halfway into this. I have 2 hours left of the audiobook and I'm having a good time. At the beginning, I was kind of unsure, honestly. I was like, okay, this seems to be missing a lot of the charm that we had in Butcher and Blackbird. And I just wanted that banter back, and I loved the serial killer aspect of things, and I was sad that that didn't seem to be as big of a part of this one. When we started having their initial banter, when they like first met, I was not a fan. It got way too hot, way too heavy, way too fast, and I was like, whoa, pump the brakes. I am not vibing with this. You guys just met and I do not like, no. I don't love it when the guy immediately sees a girl and he's like, things got hard, like, and gross, no. But I will say that that quickly took a turn and we found out exactly how they met, and it turned into more of a dislike to lovers. I won't say that they're truly enemies, but they do not like each other, and a marriage of convenience, which are fun tropes. So as the story went on, their banter became more fun. I am really enjoying it. I said it was missing some of that charm, and I would say about 30-35% of the way through, something is revealed that makes it have more of that charm again. I did really like a certain part of this, a snow globe. If you know, you know. And I was just cackling at that part because I was like, man, that is great. I am here for that. I still am not completely sold on the reason why they had the marriage of convenience fake marriage thing. I felt like that was a little bit, I don't know, it just didn't fully work for me. But overall, I am enjoying their dynamic. I have a lot of fun with Brynn Weaver's writing style, and I am excited to finish this off. It's a super fast read, a lot of fun. I do want to mention one thing that drives me up the wall though, and I think that this means I'm in an audiobook slump, because I tried to read Two Twisted Crowns, didn't like the narrator, but I've listened to that narrator before and it was fine. I tried the Everqueen on audio, didn't like the female narrator of that one, and put it down. And then I was listening to this one, and while I do like the narration style of this, it definitely has a true dual point of view narration where even in his points of view, he's narrating, but when she speaks, it's her voice. I like that. I find that unique and interesting, and I really like her narration, but he is extremely gravelly in his voice. Like, it's very deep and very gravelly, which is fine, but it also has a Scottish accent. So like it can be a little harder for me to understand him at the speed at which I want to put her on. So that part is a little hard, but that's not the thing that annoys me. The thing that annoys me is that because his voice is so much more gravelly than hers, it's quieter than hers is. And his voice is his voice. Like that's totally fine, but just bring up his volume to meet hers so that I don't feel like I'm turning her down and can't hear him at all when he's speaking in her points of view, or I've got him turned up so that I can hear him and then she starts talking, I feel like my eardrums are being blown out. It's a very small thing, and that's why I think maybe I am in an audiobook slump, because I don't feel like that's something that I normally would let bother me as much as it's driving me up the wall, but it's driving me up the wall. Anyway, thank you for coming to my TED Talk on audiobooks and how they should be appropriately tuned. Like, just think of it like a mixing board when you're making music. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to sprints. We're doing Patreon sprints tonight. It's just a fun, chill night, and I need to get some more reading done. I've been listening to the new Sabrina Carpenter album for the last, like, every time I'm in the car, basically. I've gone through it twice, with a couple of songs 3 times, and I'm having a great time. I just love her, like, ability to be upbeat and funny and witty, even in some of the more serious songs. Some of the lyrics I'm just like laughing at because they're genius. They're amazing, even when she's, you know, being sad. So I'm really liking this one. I think that I like of course someone's gonna pull up next to me right as I'm filming this. I don't think I care. I think that I like the previous album just a little bit better. There was definitely more of like a beat, I think, in that one. Not that this one doesn't have a beat, but like I do think I prefer that one just a little bit more. But I am really, really liking this album. I'm having a fantastic time with it. I think my biggest complaint about this one is the same complaint that everybody's been having, is that it's just too short. I wish there were more songs. I wish the songs were a little bit longer, but I'm having a great time with it. I have got my coffee and I wanted to update you guys because I'm done with Leather and Lark by Brent Weaver, and I like this one. I did not like it as much as Butcher and Blackbird. I got that way too sweet. Whew. Okay, anyway. Leather and Lark. So this one is still a lot of fun. I still really like Brent Weaver's writing style, but I did not like this one as much as Butcher and Blackbird. It just did not have the same charm, the same funniness that I loved about Butcher and Blackbird. I think that that one did a really good job playing on some familiar tropes and really bringing in like the serial killer to the more romantic but comedy vibes, and it just blended that really, really well. This one I just didn't feel like did that quite as well. It's still sort of a romantic comedy, but it definitely has 2 more serious main characters, even though Lark is really not portrayed as serious. She definitely comes across that way a lot in the writing, and Lachlan is definitely a very serious character. Their chemistry didn't hit quite as well with me, so while I liked it, I was just never fully in it. If you liked Butcher and Blackbird, I say definitely give this one a try, but the tropes and just the characters and stuff did make it feel very different to me than Butcher and Blackbird, while still being able to tell that it's part of the same series. I don't feel like that really makes a whole lot of sense. I don't know how to get my thoughts across about this book, except for I just was not as enamored with it. It took me a lot longer to read than Butcher and Blackbird, and while it was fun, it just was not as good to me. So we do need to do a spin for this one. I think I'm gonna give it another 3.5 star, but round this one down to a 3 star. I liked it, but it just didn't hit the same. So let's bust out the trusty wheel. I'm gonna have to turn off the ring light for this one because it feels like it's hard to see. Okay, the spin for Leather and Lark. I don't know that anybody is gonna get any extra points for this one, so it'll just be 300 points. Okay, so Team Wings is going to be getting 300 points for Leather and Lark. Still a good solid read, just not quite as good as I was hoping it would be. So moving on to my next read, which will hopefully be a win to probably finish off this vlog. I don't know that I will get anything more done than this last read. We are in the living room, and you know what that means. I have an unboxing to share with you guys. These are 2 very exciting packages. One is my Fairly Romantasy and one is Fabled. and the Fabled book, I'm so excited to look at. I think the Fairy Loot is really, really pretty too. So we're gonna start with the Fairy Loot, then I'll show you guys the Fabled because it is House of Bane and Blood and I'm so excited to see it. So for the Romantasy, this one, the theme was Captive Hearts and the book is Bonded by Thorns by Elizabeth Helen. If you guys don't want to see what this looks like, then skip ahead. But I think from the sneaks that I saw, it is really pretty. Oh my gosh, it is so pretty. Mine is dented down here at the bottom though. I don't know that I care. Oh, look at how beautiful this is. It's gorgeous. Whoever did this character art, it is stunning, stunning. Mine is a little beat to crap. I'm not sure if that bothers me enough to say anything, but like it's pretty beat up on like, oh, it's not gonna let me show you, but yeah, I may say something, I haven't decided. Anyway, these edges are absolutely gorgeous. They're block on the top and the bottom. And then we have gorgeous end papers. I think this is a reverse harem or white shoes. Oh my gosh, this book is absolutely stunning. But the reverse dust jacket, very pretty. Nothing compared to this. This is absolutely gorgeous. Beyond excited for this. It says 4 handsome fae princes, 1 awkward bookworm, an enchanted veil, a beastly curse to break. So I'm assuming it's like a reverse harem, why choose Beauty and the Beast retelling. And then we have Fabled. Fabled is behind, so I have no idea what month this is. Does it tell me on here? No, it doesn't tell me on here. So I have no idea what month this is, but oh my gosh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. Okay, hang on. I gotta get through the shrink wrap. I resisted buying another special edition of this because that would make me having 3 special editions. I'm still thinking on it, but this one, oh my gosh, look at that foiling. It's so pretty. It goes all the way around. This is the slipcover. Oh, look at how beautiful this book is. Oh, it is so pretty. And then these edges, stunning, stunning. The end papers just kind of look like this. Oh, I love it. It's so pretty. I cannot wait to display this on my shelves. Gorgeous. I think that is, my camera battery is gonna die. How quickly can I tell you about the Everqueen? Because I did start that on my way to work this morning. I decided I didn't like the audiobook of Two Twisted Crowns. I know I listened to the first book. I'm not sure if it's the same narrator or not. I've been too lazy to look, but I'm enjoying the Everqueen. I'm not loving the audiobook for this one either, so I may end up flipping off of it and picking another audiobook, making it my physical book. I haven't fully decided yet, but I'm very excited to be back in this world. Once my camera battery stops flashing at me and I get it replaced, I'll come back, I'll tell you what the Ever King is about and give you guys some of my initial first impressions. Okay, so I have finally gotten a little bit more of the Everqueen read, and I'm having a good time with this one. I started it on audiobook. I think I already told you guys this, and I just was not loving the female narrator. And I also think there's just a little bit of something about LJ Anders' writing style that just doesn't click in my brain super well. So I need to physically read it to absorb the story better. So I did swap about 15% of the way into the ebook, and I am liking it a lot better on the ebook. If you don't know what the Ever King is about, that is following the Serpent and the Songbird. The Songbird, or Olivia, is the heir to the Earth Fae throne. She has earth magic. The Fae of the Sea is kind of their mortal enemy. There was something that happened in their parents' lifetime, which is in the previous series, and you don't have to have read the previous series to read the Ever King series, but basically something happened and the Ever Kingdom was shunned away and they're not able to like come back into the Earth Fae realm. So we have the Songbird, and she is the heiress, she is the princess, and she just has earth magic. She's living her best life. And then we have the Serpent, who is the king of the Ever Seas, and he is basically like Jack Sparrow made over. He is a little bit of a bad boy, and he controls this like ship that can dive underwater, and it's got a really cool magic system, but their land is dying, and he is wanting to get revenge on the people that shunned his father, and in order to do that, he is going to try to steal away the Songbird, or the princess of the Earth Kingdom. So I really like that like dynamic between them was really fun. It's a little bit enemies to lovers, although to me it didn't feel like super enemies to lovers, but that's definitely the trope. The magic system is really cool. I love the pirate vibes. It has excellent pirate vibes. There were a few things about the first book that, as far as the relationship goes, I felt like kind of moved a little too quickly. I loved the banter between them, especially in the beginning. I was like tabbing the crap out of the Ever King, but as we got about halfway through, I felt like things got a little bit more rushed and I wasn't loving the relationship as much. But then by the time we got to the end, I was really enjoying the plot and everything again. So I'm hoping that the Ever Queen works really, really well for me. So far, it's picked up right where the Ever King left off. We almost started right where that one ended, and the plot has just been going from the start. I'm having a very, very good time with it so far. I am about 30% of the way in, and I'm looking for them to be back in the same like area again and having a little bit more interactions. I feel like we're definitely getting more of his point of view, which I'm really enjoying, but I do want to know a little bit more about what's going on her side of things. But I'm having a great time. It feels like a 4-star right now. I am now halfway into the Ever Queen, and I am really enjoying this. We have gotten our characters back together, which I am loving, but I like the way that the kind of world and magic is expanding in here. Eric is still very cutthroat, and his just like things that he is willing to do to get her back is so romantic and ruthless all at the same time. I'm liking the dynamics of bringing in some of the new characters, and I love the dynamics of his crew. It's just a lot of fun. I still think that the writing sometimes for me is a little bit intentionally not formal, but almost historical. But I think that that's because of the nature of it being like a pirate romantasy, that it very much so feels that way in a lot of the verbiage, which makes it a little bit of a slower read for me, but still one that I am really enjoying. I am liking this one a lot better than the first book. Like, I remember the first book enjoying it, but definitely having some issues with like some of the things in the relationship aspects, but I don't remember enough about what those were. It's not bothering me in this one though. I'm liking their dynamics. Eric is incredible, 10 out of 10. Livia is fine. I do wish she had just a little bit more development. I feel like compared to Eric, she is a little bit underdeveloped for me, but overall their relationship is good. I like a lot of the conversations that we're having in here, and I'm having a really good time. So I am going to try to finish this off. I don't know if it'll be tonight or not. I think Kindle's telling me that I still have about 2 hours left of the ebook. Good morning. Hi. I meant for this update to be coming to you guys yesterday with my final thoughts on the Ever Queen, but I slacked yesterday. I had a haircut appointment and then I just kind of goofed off all day and did not get any reading done. So because of that, the Ever Queen is now going to be rolling over into week 4. I really didn't want it to because I only had like an hour left, but you know what? Life sometimes, and it just is what it is. So that means that we just get to close out this vlog, and it is time for the week 3 rankings. I'm very excited. It was a extremely close race. I mean, some of these were within like 2 points per person of one another, so you guys are literally crushing it. Please do not be disappointed if you end up in the 3rd and 4th place bracket. You still can get 3rd place, which is very exciting, so keep up that reading. Just a reminder that this is going to be putting you into the brackets to compete for 1st and 2nd, as well as 3rd and 4th place. Okay, so in our 1st and 4th place bracket, we had the Stars versus the Thorns, and the Stars are going to be moving ahead to compete in the winners bracket, and the Thorns are going to be moving into the runners-up bracket. And then in 2nd and 3rd place, we had Wings and Snakes battling for their life to see who was going to end up in the winners bracket, and that is going to be the House of Wings, and the House of Snakes is going to go into the runners-up bracket. So congratulations to everyone. We are entering into the final week. I am so excited. Please remember that if you are going to be talking about this in the Discord, to give it about an hour and then spoiler tag it as always. Week 4 ends on Saturday the 31st at midnight Eastern time. However, you will have all the way through the 1st of September to submit your books. You will have an extra day for submissions just in case you were to forget. You don't get them in by that final buzzer, but books are down at midnight EDT on the 31st. I'll remind you guys of all this. I just wanted to put it here in case you weren't in the Discord. Okay, guys, thank you so much for hanging out and watching this vlog. If you just want to let me know that you were here, leave me some kind of pirate emoji, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!